Hey, you guys. So, today we're going to be continuing the topic of demonic spirits that are ramaging, going all over these homeless shelters. So, today we're going to be talking about the bitter spirits, the spirit of bitterness. Oh my gosh, the spirit of bitterness has women and some men in a chokehold. So, I want to start with the fact that you would think that the spirit of bitterness is mainly in the homeless women in the shelter. You would think that since they are going through it, and it would make them a little bit insecure and have some jealousies issues of other people. But you guys, the spirit of bitterness is mainly in the workers at the shelter. Let me give you guys some examples. There's this red-headed security officer that works nights, and it's like she can't wait to see me just to find any reason not to like me, which it's like she can't even find a reason not to like me because God has put a spirit, like He has put it in my spirit to be at peace with people, especially people with a bitter spirit. I've had a lot of issues with accepting and allowing people with the bitter spirit to like slap me on the cheek and then turn and let them slap the other. But since I've been following God, He's been putting us like peace in me to where when I come across these people, I just react in a nice way. I don't even, it's not me. So I'm like, oh my gosh, like, how am I reacting like this? And knowing exactly what to say and knowing exactly how to react. The first time I seen this lady, I walk up to her because I need to go. We're forced to go to on call to get a caseworker. I didn't know where to go, so I went to the guest services desk where she was sitting to ask her for help. And so I know I didn't say like hello before I started talking. I was just like, hey, I'm supposed to be going to on call. Where am I supposed to be going? Because there's nobody in that office. And she looks at me, rolls her eyes, looks at the lady next to her, like, why is she talking to me? Then looks straight forward and doesn't say anything. So the lady next to her was a polite lady, and she answered my question, and she just sent me on my way to where I was supposed to be going. And I was just like, okay, that was our first interaction. Second interaction, my friend, she was arriving a bit late to the shelter, and we have to be there by 6 p.m. And so she calls me and she's like, hey, I'm not going to get there till like 6:03 because the bus is running late. And I was like, all right. She's like, can you let the security know, not to do too much because you can lose your bed over that. So right after she called me, I run to the front to go let them know. And so she's at the front, and there's actually another security officer, the security officer that I told you guys about in the last video that made that comment, the young boy. So when I get up there, I see her. I already know I'm not gonna fool her. After that odd interaction, I'm like, all right, so I'm gonna go to the security officer and let him know. So I go up to him and I'm telling him what's going on, and I ain't gonna lie, he was kind of flirting, but we were just sitting up there talking about it, and he was just like letting me know that she was gonna be okay as well. So when she looks up and she sees that it's me talking to him, she gets annoyed, rolls her eyes. She's like, ma'am, why are you over here? Why are you on this side of the guest service office? And I start talking to her, and I'm just like, I explained to her what's going on, and I'm still very nice, very kind, and still talking to her in the nicest ways. And I could tell she couldn't take it. Like, she was just like, I'm trying to be mean to you, but you're not reacting in a mean way, so I can't do nothing to you. And you could tell it was like surprising her the way that I was reacting, and she still reassured me that I was good, she's security, and my friend's gonna be okay. And I was like, all right, cool. And I like ended it with a smile, so she really was like taken aback by it. And so I left. The next interaction was right after dinner. They were doing something with calling the men out to dinner after they had already called the women. I had already sat down to eat, and I was up there to get some tissue to go use the restroom. And as they were calling them in, they said something weird on the announcement. So I was like looking over there at the area of the men, like, what are they doing? And she was sitting in front of me, but like I'm looking up at the where the men are, but she's like sitting like below. So I'm like this, and she's down here. And when she just so happened to turn around. When she turns around, she's like, she doesn't look like she's like scared, like, what am I doing standing right there looking over there? There's people standing next to me too, also interacting and looking at what's going on over there too. But I'm looking at her, and I'm just like, I ain't gonna lie, I start talking under my breath. So I'm like, what the heck is wrong with this lady? Like, why are you acting like a weirdo? Why are you trying to make me seem like a problem when I can stand right here if I want to. I can look over there if I want to. I can. There's nothing wrong with what I'm doing, but you're making what I'm doing a problem. So I took that, and I later on that night I was sitting there thinking on it, and I almost got a little bit upset, a little bit mad, but then God got up in my ear and He was just like, "We're not gonna do that here. Let it go, like completely let it go. Don't even react to nothing. I want you to let everything go and be completely at peace while you're here." And so I'm like, you know what? Okay, and I accepted it when no problem, and it's just like it just was like running through me. It was like so easy to be at peace with it. So the next interaction with this lady, yes, there's a whole bunch. One of the security officers, he has like diabetes or something, and when I had gotten off the bus, he fell out on the floor at the bus stop, and he was like not okay. So I'm sitting there, I'm like, okay, you need water? What do you need? Telling people to call the ambulance, like let's get this taken care of. And so after that, after they called the ambulance and he said he needed water, I run back to the homeless shelter. Somebody already informed him that he was down there. So two of the security officers were already running over there. And I was like, all right, y'all are going over there to go take care of him. He said he want water, so I'm going to get the water. And I see the ambulance. So I'm like, okay, they're going to the wrong place. I'm going to redirect them. When I finished redirecting the ambulance, and I go to the door and I'm talking to another security officer. I'm like, okay, he said he wants water. We need some water. And so he's like, okay, I'm gonna get some water. She just so happened to be sitting at the front of the guest service that's in the intake area. And she's like sitting there doing nothing but watching me. The security officer that was working right there, he's working the intake, so he can't really move from there, but she can move. And so he somehow gets somebody to go get some water. And when he gets the water, she comes to the desk. He's about to give me the water. She's like, no, I'm going to take it. And you could tell that she wanted to not let me seem like I was helping in the situation, not let me be the hero in the situation. And she was like, I'm going to take the water. I'm going to take it. And I'm just like, all right, whatever. So she follows me. And so I'm like walking fast. She's like walking really slow. I knew I could tell she couldn't walk fast. And so we walked to where the bus stop is, and it just so happened they already had him on the stretcher and he was already gone. So we couldn't even get him the water. But I'm just like, it could have possibly gotten there earlier if you would have moved faster and if you would have let me take the water. Like, what is wrong with you're more concerned about looking like the hero in the situation rather than helping the person. You want to seem like a helpful person, but instead you're watching a helpful person getting mad that somebody is actually a helpful person. Weirdo energy. Next interaction I see with her, she's doing count. When other security officers do count, they come in at 8 p.m., make sure everybody's in their bed. If you're not in your bed, you can get kicked out, or you have to have a note that's saying that you're at work and you have a reason why you're not in your bed. So when other security officers do count, they boom, boom, boom. They see boom, 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 count everybody. When she comes in, she wants to make sure everybody's in there. If they're like sleeping or laying in their bed, she's like, hey, waking up like, hey, 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 you up, hey, 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 are you here? When she clearly sees them laying right there. To be very annoying and bitter. There was one day when they were calling wash to go wash their clothes at the same time as she was calling count, and it's like they call wash before she called count, and it was an announcement for it too. So it's just like you should have waited or did like other security officers did and accept that they're probably not there right now, ask the people around where they are, and they just would have told you she went to go wash her clothes type stuff. And so there was one woman who she went to go to the washroom because that she was called to go to the washroom. And when the lady's over there, she's like, hey, 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 get back to your bed. You need to get back to your bed right now. And she was like, they just called me to go wash. She's like, I'm not trying to hear all that. Get back to your bed. You're going to get written up if you don't get back to your bed. And you can only get 3 write-ups and you get kicked out. So it was just very disrespectful. Like, you're sitting there threatening her bed because she's doing what she's supposed to do type stuff. And you're just trying not to let nothing slide because you don't like this woman for whatever reason. You decided that you don't like this woman. So the woman like is like standing there like she about to clap back. But then the lady like she holds it together. She's like, I'm not trying to get no write up, especially for no reason, especially because I know this woman is bitter and looking for any reason to be mad. So the woman just goes back to her bed. And then I hear her another time doing count, and I'm like, okay, you only like people that look like you, is overweight, not cute, not taking care of themselves, not nice people, things like that. That's the only type of women that you like. Because I hear her talking to some women sometimes, like she'll be very nice to them and let them slide with certain things. But when it comes to like women like me or women that she can't relate to something about, she's very rude and aggressive with them and trying to basically get them kicked out any way that she can on some weirdo stuff. The next interaction, oh my God. The next interaction I have with this lady, and which just happened just recently the other day, I was going into the homeless shelter and I'm checking in, and I was checked in by the security officer. We kind of be relating because he's like see my pre workout, and he knows I'm a pretty healthy person, and he likes that I come in with joy or whatever. So I'm smiling when I see him because we be relating on that type of stuff. And as I'm in the middle of my smile, I look up at the guest service area where she is, and she's with a new woman that she's training. And so the new woman looks at me with the most disgusted, angry look that she can put together with her face. And I ain't never even seen this lady before, but I see who's sitting right next to her, redhead. And I'm just looking, when I look up, like my smile automatically disappears because I'm just like, why the heck are you mugging me like that? What the heck? Like, I didn't even notice the face that um, redhead was making. I could just feel she she's like the biggest cause of this. But the lady, like when she's looking at me, she's just like ready to just bother me and mad at me for whatever reason she's conducted in her head. I'm just like, oh my gosh. So once again, I go up to her, I said, hi, my name is Brianna Scott. She checked me in. I go on by my business because you're not about to ruin my peace. And it's like the more that I react like that, I'm like, yeah, that's all you're trying to do. You're trying to steal my peace from me. You want me to be as mad as you are so you can be happy that I'm not feeling good. That's weirdo energy, and you're not about to take that from me. So I just kept it pushing. Like literally, like right after that situation, she's like training the new girl, and I'm just like, oh, she gonna train that lady to be bitter. The lady seems older than her, but it's just like the lady already ready to be bitter and just ready to just mess with anybody. So they come in, somebody was complaining about the smell on somebody's bed, so they come in and check the beds, and they're like, oh my gosh, it smells so bad over here, which it kind of smelled bad because I went over and smelled it myself. It didn't even smell that bad. But it turns out the lady in the top bunk, she has like a peeing air issue. She probably on. They say she does like heavy drugs and stuff like that. She just got like an issue. But the night security officers, how they handle it is they're just like they go over there like, you need to wash, and they say they need to wash, and they go wash their clothes. Why are you sitting here yelling, oh my gosh, it smells bad over here, oh my gosh, making it seem like somebody's a problem, talking about people, trying to make them feel less than the most that you can, rather than trying to fix the issue. After they do that, they end up blaming the girl on the top bunk that is the actual issue, and there's a deaf lady under her that can't even plead her case with them and tell them that it's not her. They end up blaming her too, without even getting any valid evidence that it's her. They everybody around that bunk area said exactly who the problem was and what the problem was, but they still blamed both of them and still was like messing with the deaf girl over the issue, like weird energy. Then later on that day, we get to the time like they go by colors for who's going to be cleaning up certain areas. So it turned out to be my area to be cleaning the cafe, the little restaurant area where we eat. So I'm going in there to clean my area, and I see the new lady, and she's like walking around, like looking around at people, looking for somebody to mess with. Like you could feel it coming off her, looking for somebody to get in trouble. So she sees me, and she's like looking for an issue, and I just start singing like. I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. There's nothing you could do about it. When she couldn't find nobody out there doing any wrong, she goes in the restroom. And she's like, if there's nobody in here using the restroom, you need to get out. You need to get out the restroom. Just yelling anything she could find for a problem. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, your personality is disgusting. So the next time that I see the new lady, I'm coming in I talked to my favorite security officer, and we're just talking it up a little bit. So when I get to her, she knows that I'm about to walk over to her, so she makes a call right when I'm walking up to her, and she's sitting there talking on the phone. I'm just sitting there, I'm waiting patiently, like I know exactly what you're doing, and I know why you're doing it. And God's in my ear, like, see, you see how when I've been giving you discernment, and at first you was like, it was irritating you to know everything people were doing straight up and having to react a certain way, but now you just know straight up, and now you got me directing you on how to react straight up, and now you see how reacting through me keeps it how it's supposed to be. They're not stealing your peace. And so I'm just sitting there waiting patiently in peace, like, okay, okay. And so after that, she gets off the phone call, because it was, you could tell it was a pointless phone call, and she's like, what's your name? And I'm like, Brianna Scott. And so when I react in a still a kind way, she doesn't know how to take it. And then so I do a little bit of small talk with her. You could tell she was taking a liking to me, but still trying to keep it strict. And I'm just like, that's weirdo energy. When it was my time of the month, and I go to the front to get some pads, the first lady, she gives me three, no problem. When it comes to redhead, I go to her. I'm like, hey, do you guys have any pads right now? And she doesn't look, just says no, denies me any. So that should let you guys know how deep her jealousy, insecurity, and bitterness runs. If you want to help the homeless, it's another thing they do. You can donate clothes, you can donate, like, just bring clothes by the homeless shelter, bring pads, bring tissue, all types of stuff. They be needing that. Last employee that I would like to talk about is going to be the night worker lady. Oh my gosh. This lady, if I can get the announcement that she does every night on record, I will show it to you, because you would think something totally different about this woman if you ain't never met her before. First night that I was there, when I just got a bed outside in the intake area, I heard her on the announcements, and she's doing a prayer. She's going over all the rules. She's telling everybody at the end of her prayer that I love all of you guys, and there's nothing you can do about it. That's how she ends it every night. And I'm just like, wow, I can't wait to meet this woman. She seems so kind, so sweet. Nothing of the sorts. Nothing of the sorts. This lady has denied me tissue. Like, one time, in the middle of the night, I came to use the restroom, and it wasn't one. So you need a lot of tissue. Good thing I keep wipes in my own tissue. But I'm getting the tissue, and she's like, that's enough. That's enough. Didn't even let me finish getting tissue. She only lets you get a certain amount of pads. She gets into it with women over the smallest things. And there's like this lady, I call her Bird Lady. She just wears this hat that kind of like does that, but the lady is so sweet. The lady likes to go in the morning and get her some water or walk around. You could tell she's a little on the spectrum. She be up early in the morning. This lady does anything to mess with this lady. Actually, this morning the lady was up doing her usual thing, and she kicked the lady out till 8 a.m., saying that she needs to be kicked out because she don't know how to act. She be thinking that she runs things in the morning, just because she be wanting to do her little things like get water and stuff, and she calls the lady out for unnecessarily being rude to her. That's another thing that Red did. After the one of the times that Redhead tried to disrespect me and tried to steal my peace, that same night you could tell she was brewing, and she before she left work, she left at like 11 a.m. Before she left, she came in the room, because they turn the lights off at 9:30, or they're turning them dim just to make sure ain't nobody stealing. And I am right before she left, she came and flicked on the lights to full bright, and then left. And so when I woke up, I'm just sitting there with the lights fully on bright, and I'm like, okay, who's gonna turn them off? So nobody came to turn them off. So I go to the front, and that bitter lady that does the announcements was up there. I'm like, hey, the lights are on full bright. She's like, no, what they do is they only put them on. I'm like, no, they're on full bright. So she goes in there and she dims them down. She's like a little weirded out, because she's like, what the heck? Who did that? I'm just like, it was Big Red. Little do you know. But yeah, y'all, this is a little all over the place. But said what I said. That's all I really have to say. I am getting over it. Like, I've dealt with a lot. of bitter spirits in my life. And it's just like, it's so ridiculous because women will be jealous of you because you're in shape, jealous of you because you don't eat certain things, jealous of you because you work out, jealous of you because you're pretty, jealous of you for things that God bless you with that you can't change about yourself, and jealous of things that they can change about themselves but they're not willing to do, which makes no sense to me. I really wish more people would accept themselves, but if we're being completely honest, there's more bitter people in this world than there is people that accept themselves and have real, true confidence. But it is what it is. I'm just happy that God's given me peace through all of it. All right, you guys, that's all I have to say for today. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.